All right, so for card number 6, I finally wanted to use that darling little gingerbread man stamp. And so I'm going to take some of the Neenah Desert Storm paper, and I'm going to stamp 3 of these little guys. And I'm going to do some heat embossing, so I'm using my Versamark sticky ink. And now I'm using my Hero Arts white embossing powder. And I'm just going to go ahead and cover these guys up and melt that powder to get a really nice little white outline. So there they are. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of coloring because the gingerbread itself is a darker brown. So I'm just going to take one of my Copics and very carefully color around that embossing. I don't want to touch the white. So there they are, all 3 of them. And then I stamped and heat embossed the Squad Goals stamp. Now I'm just going to fussy cut each of the little guys. And I'm just leaving a very small border of the Desert Storm just around the outer edge. And I didn't show this part, but his red buttons and his pink cheeks are done with Nuvo crystal drops. So now I'm going to use this really cute little candy paper, and I cut this little border strip from the page of borders, and that panel is 3 inches wide, so the 6-inch strip perfectly fits the top and bottom, cut in half. And then I'm putting this down on more of the Desert Storm, and I'm going to round the corners here. And then this little panel is going to go down onto my card base, which is your typical side folding A2 card base. And I will clip the corners of that as well. So that piece is going to live there, but first I'm going to use my white gel pen and run a little stitched line down the sides. I'm trying to get my white pen, there we go, to flow a little better. I always have trouble with my white pens getting kind of slow and tacky, so I do my best. And then once that's done, I'm going to put down the center piece just flat to the card front, and that is the finished card. I think that turned out super cute. All right, so for card number 7, I'm going to do a little more coloring. So I'm just using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink and the little Santa down on some white cardstock, and then also doing the big and small hearts that I want to use as accents. So I'm coloring with 2 colors of my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. And it's just going to be real simple shading, but I just like the look. It helps them seem puffy as opposed to just little flat hearts. And I have actually started to really like my Spectrum Noirs. They seem to blend so easily. It's just no fuss. So now I'm going to actually put Santa in a pink costume. So I'm using those same 2 pinks. And the reason I'm doing this is because of the card or the pattern paper I'm going to use. There's no red in it, and I wanted Santa to blend in to the background and look like he belongs. So you'll have to excuse him. He's wearing his rosy costume tonight. So I'm just going to do, again, just real basic coloring. I always use R20 and 22 for the cheeks, and I use E, O1, and O2 for the flesh tones. And I like to give him a slightly pinkish nose. So I'm just using my C1 to do just a little bit of shading to add some interest to all the white. And now I'm taking a dark, I think it's C9, and I'm coloring in the black areas, and then give him a little gold belt, and of course the black glaze pen on his eyes, and then a couple highlights with that white pen again, or at least I'll try. There we go. Takes a while. All right, so there he is trimmed out, and then I'm going to use the Christmas is Claus for Celebration stamp, and I put that on the pink paper, and here I am creating just a nice mat for layering on my card base. And then I wanted to use this Milk and Cookies paper, and that's the paper that kind of has the little pink accents in there with the pink hearts. And then this little border piece with, again, the Milk and Cookies, and I'm going to put that down there. And I'm leaving just a little opening so that the pink sort of frames everything. And now this cut apart piece with the Milk and Cookies again, I matted it with more of the pink, and I'm just going to put it down on the card front. And then Santa is going to sit right there, but he's going to get popped up on some foam just for a little bit of small dimension there. And then the sentiment strip will sit there. And then I'm figuring out the placement for my little hearts. There we go. And then I decided to put down the enamel sticker for the milk glass and for the cookie because they're exactly the right size. And now I'm just taking a little bit of my Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen, and I'm glittering up the hearts. And that will be card number 7. So for card number 8, I'm using another cut apart, and I have it down on this scalloped edged rectangle die. And I'm using a top folding card this time, and I'm going to use that cute candy paper, and I am putting it down on a piece of red and then trimming away the excess. And then that whole panel will fit right down onto the card front. But first, I'm going to add some of my red and white baker's twine, and I wanted 3 lines of it. I'm just taping down the back with some Scotch tape, and then that panel with Santa will fit over it, just like so. And then I'm taking 2 lengths of the twine, and I'm going to tie a little double bow. Gather up those 3 lines on the paper, get my bow into position and trim the ends. And then the whole panel is just going to lay flat down on the card base. So pretty simple, but I think very cute little layout. And then I wanted to put a little bit of something sparkly, so I cut 2 very narrow strips of the blue, and I have tape on the back side already, so I'm just going to lay those down along each edge of the card. It's just a simple, easy way to add something glittery. And there you go. That's card number 8. Okay, so for card number 9, I really wanted to use the Darling gingerbread paper because I just am obsessed with those super cute little gingerbread men. So that will be my background panel. And now to add some sparkle, I'm taking the silver glitter paper, and I just cut a strip and then flagged the ends. And now I cut 3 scalloped circles and then 3 plain circles that I actually embossed with an embossing pad, or whatever, the embossing folder, I guess you call it. And then this way I have a little spot to set each one of my 3 gingerbread men stickers. So I'm putting down that silver strip, and now I'm going to use some nice tacky glue, and I'm going to set down those 3 gingerbread men along that little strip. And the liquid glue is nice because that sparkle paper does have a little bit of texture. So then I'm using a Merry Christmas die set, and I believe they're Simon Says die cuts from several years ago. Unfortunately, I didn't mark them when I put them in my storage drawer. But anyway, so there they are. And they've been backed with double-sided tape already. So I'm just kind of setting it down, getting it half stuck, and then pulling away the back of the release paper. That way I can make sure that it's laid out nicely. And there we go. And then I'll just nudge that little dot for the eye into place. And that is card number 9. All right, so for card number 10, I'm using some more Simon Says stamp products, and these two dies came together in a little set that I bought several years back. And then you can see on the panel that I popped out both of those dies, and now I'm going to back this panel with some of my Suk Wang double-sided tape. And this is a great tape because you can see now that the whole backside is covered, and then when I go to lay my die cut pieces in, they just stick perfectly into place. So I used the Darling Holly paper for the tree itself, and then I took a little leftover strip that I had of the silver sparkle, and then I used the chisel tip of my Copic in a very dark brown to color the silver paper dark brown. So now it's dark brown glitter paper. And then I'm putting the word Merry. I just ran it with some plain red cardstock from my stash. And I'm just filling in those little openings. Very cute. And then I have, again in my stash, this nice little edge die, and it creates little circles. So I'm just going to lay it into position just so, and run it through my Big Shot. And then look, now I have little circle openings on both edges, and I'm going to take that red and white baker's twine, and I put it through a tapestry needle, and now I'm just going to do a real simple running stitch down the side, and I'm just tucking the end, you can see, so it sticks to that double-sided tape. So a running stitch, you just go up and down and up and down and up and down the length of all those little circles. So super easy to do. And I enjoy this kind of thing, so for me it was a pleasure. Some people don't like to take the time. Then I'm going to use Nouveau Crystal Drops in the red berry color, which is a gorgeous, perfect little red. And I'm actually dotting each one of the red berries in that pattern paper. And I'm just using little tiny drops because it will expand slightly, just a bit, meaning it just spreads out a little as it dries. So I want to allow for that. So I'm keeping my dots nice and petite. And then I have the bubblegum pink, or excuse me, I think it's carnation pink actually. And I'm just going to go through and do all the little pink berries. And really this did not take much time at all, and it dried pretty quick as well. So don't be afraid to use your Nouveau drops in this way. I accidentally put my hand in it, so I'm fixing that. Okay, so now this whole thing, now that it's dry, I'm peeling away the release tape from the backside, and I'm just going to add a piece of Fun Foam to give it some lift, and then lay it down. And on this card base, I have the red covering the entire front of the card. And then the final touch, I'm putting down just a little bit of Glossy Accents, and you can see right there I have a bow that I've tied, and I'm going to just put the knot right in the drop of Glossy Accent, and that will dry rock hard and permanent. So that is the final card. All right, so let's go ahead and review the 5 cards that I made today. So here is the first one, or I think I'm going to start counting for the full 10. So this is card number 6 with those darling little gingerbread men that I absolutely love. And here's card number 7 with the cute Santa and the milk and cookies. And here's card number 8 with Santa again. A little bit of sparkle accenting. Oh, and card number 9 with those sweet little enamel stickers with the gingerbread guys. And finally card number 10 with the fun Christmas tree. I really like the way that one turned out. All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video and all these 5 cards. This kit is really wonderful, and of course Doodlebug products are super cute. And even if you're not someone who likes cutesy things, there are ways to incorporate these items, you know, in a little bit more sophisticated way. They're still going to be cute, but you really don't have to have it be babyish. So I know I'm always looking at Pinterest and looking online at all different card ideas and things that people do and ways that they just use accents in just the right way. So I'm always trying to learn from the things that I see and incorporate some of those techniques into what I do. So anyway, I had an awful lot of fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me through this video. I hope that you're having fun crafting wherever you are, and I hope that you join me again soon for another video. In the meantime, you guys take care, have fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.